Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I'm April Lauren and I'm on a journey to lose 200 pounds and I am about halfway there. Excited to continue on my journey to lose 200 pounds. In this video, I am sharing my Utah vlog, a weigh-in, and then just chit-chatting about how I've been feeling lately. Towards the end of June, we flew to Utah, and my husband's family is all in Utah pretty much. There's very few members of his family that are not in Utah. It's the first time we've been back to Utah in so long, especially for like vacation. And we enjoyed this trip so much. We have so many special memories and I'm so glad that I captured little bits and pieces throughout the trip. I didn't spend much time thinking about filming or trying to piece together a vlog. And so I captured little bits and pieces.
Flying into Utah is one of my favorite places to fly into. It's so beautiful. The first time was about a year before I moved to Utah and it just won me over.
We're here. I'm so excited. So probably won't talk again until tomorrow, but we are here and I cannot wait for this trip to see our new little nephew and our nephews. We have 3 little nephews here, so very excited.
You did?
I did. Are you filming me?
I mean, I didn't with what you said, so you can fill them in or not.
So our first full day there was pretty awesome. I found out that my sister-in-law lives close enough to one of my favorite hikes. She used to live several towns away from this. And this hike was one of my first hikes that I ever did. It was the first hike that I ever did in Utah. And we brought my nephew, and my nephew rode on my shoulders most of the way. We hiked up and then down into the little falls area and just felt so lucky to be spending time with family and enjoying the beauty of Utah and the mountains. It is my happy place.
All right, we are headed back down.
Being there, not in Utah specifically, but being so close to all of the canyons and all of the hikes is just my happy place. And then being with my family is always so special. Hey, beautiful people. So, we are getting family pictures done. I haven't had family pictures done in so long time. It's such a long time my husband's making fun of me for vlogging right now. Look at the mountains. It's so pretty. And there's like cherry trees over there. They're getting the babies ready. And then we're still waiting on a few members of the group. I'm very, very excited. And I'm just excited to be with family.
It had been so many years since we all were together, like the entire family on this side. And it's so special. Like, I love that my sister-in-law wanted to do these pictures and set it up, and she picked such a pretty spot to do it. It's just so special. I thought it was so sweet getting to see all of the nephews with my father-in-law, getting to see them with my husband, and then getting to see just everybody all together. It was so wonderful.
Oh, it's so pretty. And that's in the background. I don't know about all the photos, but a lot of the photos. It's pretty cool. And they're all playing in this reservoir, so I thought I'd bring the camera down.
This is vacation.
Every day I went walking or I did my interval training, so walk/jogging, and we would pull the babies. So my sister-in-law has this little wagon, and I would just run out and then run back for my intervals and help pull. And it was just so much fun, like being so active. Like Utah is amazing because it is set up for activity outside. Like you're never far away from being set up for success to just be outside.
Hello, beautiful people. So I am on week 2 of my, or is it week 3? Of my 5K training. I'm very excited. I'm doing like a couch to 5K program, but I'm doing a start running program. Just running. Hi, Ringer. Hi. Water. You want it open? I want to help him. You want to help him? Help him. Have you migrated? You see the horsey. Something going on. Hi, horsey. Hi, horsey. Aww. Pretty horsey. You want to pet him? Do you love the horsies? Wave.
Utah is very efficient too in the way that they lay out like their streets. It's very gridded. So I'm from the South and it is not that way. In most places in the South is not a very efficient like grid system. I've been very impressed with Fayetteville because there is so many parks that I get to go to and like little nature trails and things like that, but it's not really what I consider hiking, and what I consider a mountain does not exist in the South. Utah and Colorado has definitely ruined me that way, so.
Wow, you're doing so good. I've kind of just jumbled up a lot of the days, and I didn't always film some of the sweet things that we did. I just enjoyed the moments. So I love though that we visited Bridal Veil Falls. So Bridal Veil Falls is not like a hike. You can hike up into it, and then from that parking lot, I know there's like 4 or 5 trails that I can think of that I've done. Where you just hike up either over the falls or over to other places. And there's like 2 places where I think they're hidden falls. Like one specifically no one ever goes to. I don't know if people even know about it.
I loved July 4th. My brother-in-law invited several people over and he made a brisket, and it was just so much fun. July 4th, we and the babies are wheeling to a park. I finished my run and we made it to the park. My sister-in-law was having a July 4th party, so. And after everybody left, my husband and I, we were gonna walk down and then walk along this trail and watch the fireworks over the valley. And my sister-in-law decided that she was gonna go get fireworks for the kids, like kid-friendly fireworks. And I guess that's almost like, it sounds like an oxymoron, but the little poppers and things like that. And so they came driving up behind us, and right before they had like come up behind us, this cat just ran out at us and was just determined that we were gonna help it. And so my husband picked it up. Like, it did not like the fireworks sounds. We felt so bad for it. And then my sister was all like, yeah, take it home. So we did. That was unexpected. Like, they love animals so much, and Anna would have 500 million babies, like fur babies, if she could.
Take another.
Watch it light up. In the dark, it lights up.
Woo! You want to do another?
Here, baby. What'd you do? You did the fireworks? Yeah? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Once July 4th had passed, it was kind of like a little sad, because it's like almost we were starting the down slope of our trip, and we packed that half of our trip with a lot of activity. So the big thing on my bucket list, I knew before we even set in stone that we were going, that this summer I wanted to attempt Timpanogos. And I'm very disheartened that I had to turn around. I stand by that choice. I don't regret turning around. I regret not being more prepared. I really did not think there was going to be ice on the trail like that, especially not as busy as the trail was. So while I didn't show it, when we pulled up at the trailhead, there, like, I mean, it was pretty full. Like, the parking lot was full, and it was like the wee hours of morning, the late hours of night. And so it's interesting. Like, Utah's special. It's a special place, and I love that there's so many people who have passion. I am so happy though that I attempted it, and I'm so happy that I felt as good as I did. Now, I mean, it was a hike, and it's a hike at high elevation, so it's not like it was an easy hike. I didn't feel like I was just lollygagging, although I did lollygag and look at the flowers. Like, it's pretty on. If you know me, you know I'm gonna stop and look at the flowers and the butterfly. I did not film most of the way because I would have fallen and died. So I'm a pretty responsible hiker, and I have been to the top of lots of peaks in Utah, and it is always amazing. And I knew I wanted to get to the top. Like, I wanted to do that for myself, but being able to make it back to the car in one piece was way more important than my desire to be at the top. Where we turned around, this is, I put in the notes of that video that I left out some graphics, and I didn't mean to. The point that we turned around, if you're looking at like the alltrails.com maps, it's a little past point 5, roughly 5.5 to 6 miles in of the whole hike. So it's an out and back hike of 15 miles. We did not make it. Or literally, if I would have made it over that ice, and this is what's so frustrating, we were just like a hop, skip, and jump from the saddle. And I am grateful for the time I was able to spend hiking the Timpanogos Trail, trying to go to the summit of Timpanogos. And I am so happy that I felt so good doing it. I don't know if it translates how bad I felt moving at all before I lost weight. Like, everything hurt. Like, everything, there was physical pain. Like, my lower back hurt. I was carrying a pack. My pack probably weighed 15 pounds and maybe a little more. I had so much water and then supplies and things in my bag, like in case we got injured or we needed anything. Like, I had a lot of stuff in my backpack. And so I had no back pain. Never, not once did my back hurt. After hiking Timpanogos, we went to Dinosaur Island, which is at something called Thanksgiving Point, and it was so sweet. It was so sweet to see my nephew's reactions to the dinosaurs.
Hey, baby.
Hi. You're gonna drag me too?
Yeah.
Little baby carriage and drag me along?
We are going for a little walk. Everybody is going, which I'm pretty excited about. My husband and our nephew is quite a bit ahead of us at this point, or are quite a bit ahead of us. He was longboarding. I got a couple of the kiddos. Just a fun time. Say hi. You're so cute.
You gave me a heart attack.
Hey, baby. Yeah, that sweet smile, though.
Mom, I love you, baby.
We went to watch my husband do a beast in Utah. So the very first Spartan race I convinced him to do was in Utah. And it was at a different location than this, and it was brutal, but that was just a super.
My husband has said multiple times at this point that this was the hardest Spartan and one of the hardest things that he has done. It was very brutal, very brutal.
Woo! You see Uncle Ricky running?
Able to take the little, I can't remember what it's called, up, and they had like a lodge up at the top.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
Oh, like a pretty rocks.
We going to find Uncle Ricky? We are so not ready to go back tomorrow. Sure. So my sister-in-law and I hiked that point because and so my nephew, his eyes just lit up.
You need some more water?
Maybe. But easy running.
You need some more water? ECA clap for you, Uncle Ricky.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Hi, sweet lovey. I love this baby.
Hey, baby.
That same group of people that made us stop last time.
Coming back down. Yeah, you're probably right. He's not out.
All I gotta say is,
This is him dying.
great.
Sprite.
Go back.
Aw, y'all are so cute.
Did anyone walk over to the freezing? My legs are good legs for being a fat guy. Good legs.
Talking about me?
That's cool, not about you.
When we hiked Timp, from that point forward, I ate very, very poorly. So the first part of the trip, I ate relatively good. Like, I had my father-in-law on that first full day when we went and had family photos. He wanted to take everyone out for ice cream, so I had some ice cream and it was delicious. And that was like good for me. Like, I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, and then I ate very well. So like, we had ordered groceries and we kind of just stayed on our typical, the way we eat, but I didn't want to hold super tightly to that and make ourselves or my family miserable. And I already hadn't hit my goal. And I think that I wasn't in a self-sabotage mode, but I was disappointed, and I'm like, there's no point in me being like rigid. I was pretty rigid when I went to see my family down in Alabama. I was pretty determined that I was gonna hit that 100 pounds down, and I was very, very strict with everything I ate. And then Utah, I was not. But I still stayed pretty close to standard for me. And then we hiked Timp. And that next day after Timp, it was just like a switch flipped. And while I didn't do anything that I would consider like binging, I was like, oh, we went Thai, let's eat Thai. Oh, we went Indian, that sounds great. And then like, none of these things are bad done in moderation, but I was not like, we ate out a lot. When I got back, we ate out a few times, and when we got back, I decided I was going to just do the weigh-in on that Wednesday, and I tried to prepare myself. Like, tried to prepare myself and be rational, like, you are going to be retaining water, like, you just need to chill, like, it's gonna be okay. Whatever the scale says, it's just a number, like, it matters. But this one weigh-in does not define anything. So that's what I tried to do. And then I got on the scale, and the numbers, I know they came down, but I was still at 258.7. And so that is my weigh-in for this week. And it felt and feels awful. And my immediate response to that mentally and internally was so negative, and I felt overwhelmed and frustrated, and I didn't regret anything. It's not that I regretted any of my choices. My thoughts of like what to do next got pretty intense, like, and extreme. And so I'm like, we're just gonna reset. That for me, that reset meant I was not going to weigh. I was going to just do my best, try to do no harm. And I am still doing that. We have another trip coming up. We're going to DC, And at this DC trip, we will have access to a kitchen, so we are not gonna be eating out. My husband can if he would like to, but I'm just gonna stay very like onto the way that I eat. And when I come back, I'm gonna weigh. I may weigh before we go. And if I do, I will be sharing that. And if I decide not to, I need to be in a place where that number doesn't affect me and like my mental health and everything so much. Fluctuations are normal. And every day, like if I weigh almost every day, and sometimes I get into those like places where I do hop on the scale quite a bit, especially when I'm excited. So when I was being very strict, I was like, oh, I'm gonna see, like I feel different today, and hopping on a lot. And then I could be, I'm still kind of overly tethered to that number. And I need to lose a lot of weight, and I need to, I don't want to talk about what I need to do or what I'm going to do, but I'm just giving myself a reset. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like I go into this zone where I get so overwhelmed by my negative thoughts or like what I feel like I should be doing, that I want to do everything all at once, and that sometimes I try, or in this case, like I just kind of freeze, and I'm like, I can't afford to freeze, and I can't afford to gain a bunch of weight. Like this fluctuation has got to just go away. Like I just need to do no harm, and that is what I'm trying. And maybe that's a mistake, and we'll find out as we continue forward. But for me, I feel like it's the right thing to do. And so I'm just taking my moments, taking this reset to just be. And then there's other things that I don't really share on YouTube, and I'm not going to. Like, we all have challenges in life, and while I don't want anyone to feel alone, especially people who struggle with some of the things that I struggle with or through, I have to be careful with what I share and when I share it, because I have to be strong enough to deal with the consequences of sharing anything online. And I'm a very sensitive person, and so having good boundaries is the only way to go forward. But there has been several things that have happened, and it's just been heavy. It's been heavy having those things happen and going through them. And then stacking on top of that, my brother, like there's so much joy with having little kiddos around and having family around. Like it's just different. And I feel like in Missouri, I built like some friendships that were so solid, and it gave me, it didn't replace it. It was not the same, but it's very similar. Like the love I have for my friend Yenna. I'm so excited to get to see her in DC, but like there's something so good about that. And since I've lived here, I have just not been at a constant good state. And that leads to me being pretty closed off. But my whole point with all of this is coming back after our trip to Utah. I have the scale things, but even before that, I have a little bit of an empty feeling. It just feels a little empty. And that's something to struggle with, something to deal with. That empty and loneliness, like it can be filled, and I need to do a better job at seeking out opportunities to volunteer or to spend time with people beyond just the gym. Feeling stressed. And I say all that, I don't want to sound ungrateful, because I am beyond blessed to have my husband, and I am beyond blessed that he has been able to pretty much be home. Like he's had a few trainings he's gone to since we've lived here, but for the most part he's home. That's pretty rare for military life, and it's not permanent. I struggle so much with not being a mother, and just because I haven't had children or that I might not get to have children doesn't mean that I can't still experience motherhood and adopt, but it just, there's something in me, and I guess maybe it's that biological clock that's ticking, and it's like the other night it like woke me up in the middle of the night and I'm like, how am I here? How am I here and I don't have kids yet? And you can say that it's, or people can say that it's my weight, but there are plenty of overweight and obese people who get pregnant. And there are plenty of overweight and obese people with PCOS that get pregnant. And there are plenty of people with PCOS that do not get the same sort of symptoms that I get that are interfering with my ability to get pregnant. I need to lose the weight, and sooner is better. But at the same time, I need to manage my relationship with food and physical appearance and all of those small things in order to be the best mom that I can. So I can't just throw away everything that I've built. And at the same time, if I don't do things faster, it just further limits us. And it's not likely. So that's the other thing. Like, it's not likely, even with help, that I'm going to conceive. Frustrating. There's still a chance, so it's worth it. But the likelihood of being disappointed it's pretty high. And so I have to be able to manage that in a healthy way. And anyway, as you can see, I am not in my happiest place, and that's why I haven't done my 1-year update video. I just, coming back, having the empty feelings, like the sadness that I feel coming back. It's not, like, I'm not saying it right. Like, there's nothing wrong with our life. Like, there's something missing from our life for sure. Being around, like, our sweet babies, and I hope to be, I welcome the feeling of sadness when I am not around my niece and my nephews. Like, I welcome feeling down in order to feel like the joy. Just being a military family has its challenges. I gotta get myself together and continue forward. And I think I'm stacking disappointments, and I need to just reset, refocus, and that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing with limiting my time on the scale and not belittling or pressuring myself to do things differently than how I'm doing them right now, because I have to shift, and I need to be in a good place when I shift. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for encouraging me along my journey. It means so, so much. And I am sorry that I'm not in a bright, happy space right now. I'm just not. It's not like 24/7 blues or anything. I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. It's just longing for family, longing for motherhood, and then that struggle that you have, that struggle that I have with, I am being so grateful for the things that I have and being so blessed in so many different ways, and then guilt I have for not feeling as happy as I could, if that makes sense. Like, it's often that I feel ungrateful when I feel down. And then I just use that to further beat myself up for however it is that I am feeling. So I am resetting, refocusing, and next week I have a few videos coming out. I hopefully will be filming my yearly update video, everything but like the sit down portion of that. I just feel like I need to be in a better mood to talk about it. And Then I'm doing a 3 miles for time this week. So I'm gonna do that 3 miles for time as sort of like a time trial. It's not like an official time trial, but I want a point to compare to when I do my 5Ks in September and my 5K in September. And I will be talking more about what I've been doing in that 5K either next week or the week after. And I'll probably share, I've got to sign up. I've got to pick one. I've got to pick a 5K and sign up for it. And if I do that before I do my 1 year update, then I'll share those details then in case anyone's local and wants to run the same 5K that I'm running, or like walk it or jog it or some combination of all three, or just say hi. So thank you again for encouraging me. If you haven't subscribed and you'd like to follow along on my 5K journey, on my weight loss journey, or just as I share my story, as my story continues, click that subscribe button and ding the bell. And I look forward to seeing you next week.